love stories. Hey, welcome back to Love Stories. I'm your host, Cheri Smith, Blue Heart Music, and this is a place where you just might learn a little bit about love while being entertained. So today's topic is kind of a part 2 of the topic I did the other week. And you don't have to have watched that one, but if you would like to watch it, I will post the link in the description so you can check that one out too. But basically the topic was I did a thing that was pretty innocent, and it ended up kind of causing us to break up, which I didn't realize that might happen. It was very lame of him to break up with me for this reason. But also, even worse, was the way he went about breaking up, which was really, really awful. So I'm going to share that with you because you should not break up with somebody like that. But first, I actually had something pop into my head that I thought would be kind of maybe a fun fact to share. So when I was in PT school, physical therapy school, a lot of times I had to do all the demonstrations, well, not all of them, but a lot of them, because I was able to isolate my muscles pretty well. And also I had kind of flexible joints. So a lot of times they would do the demonstrations on me, which sometimes ended up being kind of painful because to show the class, they would have to do like exaggerated motions of things. So this one day I was the person that had to demonstrate this particular thing, and then the next day I was like, oh, my neck and my throat, they're kind of sore. You know, I was like, I wonder why. My friend in the class, she goes, oh, platysma. I was like, oh yeah. So if you don't know what a platysma is, it is a muscle in the front of your neck that kind of makes it look kind of webby and froggy, I guess. So I will demonstrate that so you can see my platysma. All right, prepare yourself. So here is what the platysma is. This area. So you can imagine if you did that like a bunch for quite a while and like had to show people, you would probably get pretty sore because that's not something that you naturally do frequently in the day. So most people don't have like super strong platysmas to do like a max hold of that muscle. So I just thought that was kind of like a fun fact to share for you. So now you know what a platysma is. Congratulations. Okay, so let's get into the story here. So if you did watch the first video, you will know that there was this event, this thing that happened that kind of triggered everything else. And just to give you a little background, if you hadn't watched that, this guy and I had been dating for like 6 months or so. We'd met each other's families and hung out with each other's friends. You know, things seemed like they were going well. But then this very innocent event happened. At least, you know, I didn't think anything of it. Apparently to him, that meant like he couldn't handle the relationship anymore or something. I don't know. I still like think it's super lame. Anyway, so if you haven't watched that video, I don't want to spoil it for you. So I will let you go check that out if you want. Just know that it was a very benign thing that happened that with a normal person wouldn't have caused a breakup. Apparently it was enough for him to be like freak out or whatever and be like, oh, this needs to be the end of the relationship. So we go to this party, an engagement party. This event happens, and then suddenly he's not talking to me. He's not returning my calls. He's not like hanging out with me like we normally would see each other, you know, every, I don't know, couple days or talk, you know, most days if we didn't see each other. So suddenly I don't hear from him for several days after this. And I'm like, you know what, I always give people the benefit of the doubt, like probably too much when I was dating them. But I was just like, oh, he's probably just busy or has a deadline or, you know, something. I don't know. I was just like, whatever, you know, I wasn't going to worry about it too much. So I am walking home from campus and I decide to stop and get some coffee on my way home. And little did I know that a good friend of his, who is also by default, kind of by association, a friend of mine, she happened to be working at the coffee place. And so I see her and I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? She's like, great. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I heard you guys broke up. What? Like, you heard we broke up? Because I didn't hear we broke up. I was like, he never told me that. I was just like, wow. She's like, oh, it's a little awkward. So I'm like, I guess it sounds like we need to talk, So at some point we ended up talking and I find out he was upset about this very innocent thing that had happened that like I hadn't even thought about as something that might bother him. So I find out that this small thing, small to me, had bothered him enough that he didn't want to talk to me for a few days and was telling people that we'd broken up. So, but after we chatted, I thought everything's good. He understands and isn't going to be weird about this. And so, I think all is fine. Well, so he keeps being really distant after this. And I ended up I'd see him maybe once a week. And when we did see each other, it was super distant and we would just go and study or something. So after a month of that, he wasn't coming back around to be his normal self and he was still just really keeping me at bay and just being really strange. I was finally got tired of it. And so after we hung out and studied, well, actually legitimate studying, after we hung out and studied one night, I was finally hey, I'm just tired of things going on like this. I feel like we're just buddies at this point, the way things are going, and I don't really want to keep on like this. So he's just like, okay, all right, bye. So that was the end of that. But it's just so lame of him to react that way in the first place to this very lame thing. And then to just blow me off and not talk to me, really shoddy, immature behavior. And then I don't know, a month later or something, I was watching Friends, which we all used to do. It was the big thing every week. In this episode, Rachel, who's one of the main characters, she's like, oh yeah, that thing where the guy starts being really mean to you until you break up with them. And I was like, that's what happened. He just started not treating me very well and just being really distant, emotionally unavailable and kind of cruel in that sense. And until I broke up with him, I was so sick of it that I ended things. So yeah, once again, good Friends reference from that show back in the day. Okay, so what are some lessons that we learned here? Well, first of all, I would say be respectful. So don't go around telling other people that you broke up before you actually broke up with the person that you're planning to break up with. I mean, that's just rude. Who does that? That's so mean. Why would you do that? What's wrong with you? Don't be that person. So don't do that, number one. Number two, I've said it before and I will say it again. You need to communicate, okay? I could have saved myself a month of being what's going on? Why is this guy being all distant? Is he gonna come back around to being his normal self? The answer was no. And you gotta communicate with people in both ways. He should have told me. He should have been more forward that this is not something he could get past. And also, I shouldn't have waited a month to break up with him. I should have we should have just had a deeper conversation, and we should have just talked about it more. And if that was the end and things were not going to work out, well, so be it. You know, if it's gonna end anyway, do you want to drag it out another month? I could have saved myself a full month of not wasting time with that loser. Really, you gotta communicate. You'll save yourself a little grief, or maybe you'll work things out. I don't know. Depends on your situation, but you know, that's probably gonna turn out better for you if you communicate. All right, I hope you enjoyed my story today. If you have a reason, like a lame reason somebody broke up with you, or a misunderstanding, or just like a very lame way that they broke up with you, drop that down in the comments, because I would love to hear about it. I love hearing other people's stories. So please share if you feel like you benefited from learning the lessons today, or if you find my stories fun and interesting, or you want more dating tips or relationship advice. Well, please subscribe. I love my subscribers, and I would love to bring you on as a subscriber if you haven't already, so please consider that. All right, and now it's time for visual aids. Woo. Woo. All right, I'm mixing it up for you to keep it exciting. Was that exciting? Probably not, but you know. What can you do with the visual aid that's really exciting? I don't know. Maybe if, oh, I know. If I like, you know those sign guys, and I use guys as a generic term because the ladies can also be the sign guys. So you know those sign guys that like sit there and flip it and spin it? Maybe I should pick up that skill and like keep it interesting for you. Huh? All right, anyway. I'm not really gonna learn that skill. Also, these are paper. I don't think it would work very well. All right, so there'll be a new episode almost every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time. And, all right, don't forget to like, subscribe, very important. Share if you like, and also remember, most importantly, I want you to know that you are loved. All right, thanks again for watching Love Stories. I'm Cheri Smith, Blue Heart Music, and I will catch you next time.